You've probably done this before. You load up your favourite city builder, you play for a few hours, the numbers add up, the systems are working, the city is fine. Nothing technically is wrong. And then, without warning, and without really knowing why, you quit. Not because you lost or you failed the mission, but simply because you didn't like how the city feels. City builders aren't what they used to be. They've changed. But into what exactly? City builders didn't start out realistic. They started out pretty basic. Games like Settlers or Anno were never trying to simulate real cities in forensic detail. They were building models of intention. Systems were abstract, but the outcomes made sense. If something went wrong, you usually understood why, not because the game told you, but because the logic of the game felt intuitive. Without trying to be too nostalgic, early city building games weren't trying to recreate cities that existed in the real world. They weren't even trying to model how real cities work. They were, quite simply, just a place to have fun and play around with very basic production chains. The systems were abstract and vague. They weren't asking, what kind of city do you want to build? The idea wasn't grand, it was just playful. Once you get past the first Settlers games and into the early Anno games, that complexity starts to ramp up. The gameplay was really quite refreshing, and there was pushback, and it felt more visceral, more real, more interactive. With the aid of spreadsheets, of course. I know it's a little bit later in the city building genre timeline, but even something like Tropico, a game built on satire, understood this principle. Its realism wasn't about accuracy, it was about tone. Your city felt like a place shaped by political pressure, corruption, and compromise. But the game system supported that fantasy, not the other way around. But we don't live in those times anymore. The genre has matured, expectations have changed, hardware has improved. Players have asked for more depth, more realism, more systems. I understand why. We want more challenge, more realism. And quite honestly, developers have delivered. Citizen-level simulations, real-time traffic, individually simulated needs, time of day, seasonality, political and economic intrigue. Be careful what you wish for. City Skylines has become the poster child for this shift. It offered unprecedented fidelity. Every citizen had a route, every car had a destination, every service had a radius. It's impressive. It's still today, it's even impressive. But is that what we really wanted? I mean, when did the request for realism mean granularity? I think it's a fair question to ask. Does more detail mean more fun? I don't know. I think we've missed something. Modern city builders don't exist in isolation anymore. They borrow heavily from other genres. Survival games, colony sims, tower defense. Each blend adding something unique, each promising more depth, and introducing new mechanics and ways for your cities to fail. I think Banished is the cleanest example of a city builder plus survival. Scarcity defines every decision in that game. Winters are lethal, they are no joke. A bad harvest doesn't just slow you down, it ends you. When it works, it's brutal in a way that feels fair, but, harsh. Does it force you to improve? I don't know. It forces you to restart a lot, that's for sure. And hang on a minute, not always because the city is doomed, but because you already know how it's going to end. The numbers might still function technically, but the city you're building just feels wrong somehow. Too cramped maybe, too stretched, too fragile. Maybe you're just no longer excited to see it grow because you know how it's going to go. So you abandon it. Start afresh. I think Manor Lords pushes this even further. Its realism is very tactile, brutal, grounded, almost reverent. Fields, follow seasons. Villages grow kind of organically. Roads curve naturally when you can get them to work. And when it works, it's beautiful. But its systems demand precision early on. Early inefficiencies echo throughout the entire gameplay. Recovery is possible, but it's a little bit slow and often a little bit joyless. And if you're not restarting because you're backed into a corner that you can't win for whatever reason, maybe it was the way it went, maybe it was missing systems, you restart because you just don't like what the settlement has become, because it reflects on you. City Skylines creates a different kind of friction. Failure is rarely dramatic. Instead, cities collapse under the weight of accumulated compromises. Traffic snarls and services fail silently. Fixing one problem often creates three more. The city still runs, technically, but it no longer feels coherent. It's not broken, it's just ugly. Ugly in ways that can't be fixed without just tearing everything down. There's nothing wrong with restarting a new city. That's where a lot of the fun lies sometimes. The thrill of a new map, a new city to create, a blank canvas. But in the back of your mind, am I going to make the same mistakes again? I think that this is the dividing line between good realism and bad realism. Good realism creates interesting decisions. Bad realism creates friction. You won't be surprised to hear this, but this is why I think Foundation understands this better than any modern city builder out there. Its organic layout of systems gives up precision in exchange for flow. You don't place roads, you suggest them. Buildings can adapt or change later. Villages grow in ways that feel natural, even when they're inefficient. The realism is in the outcome, not in the input. You can forgive inefficiencies in Foundation because the city feels crafted. Bad realism shows up when systems exist purely to be managed, when the game asks you to babysit instead of decide, when realism stops producing stories and starts producing spreadsheets. Spreadsheets have a time and a place. If you're looking at spreadsheets more than you're looking at the city that you're building, something's not right. This is where the restarts stop being about failure and start being about taste. You're abandoning your city not because it's inefficient, but because it feels wrong. The layout doesn't breathe. The compromises have piled too high. The city no longer matches the vision you had when you started. It's not a skill issue, it's a design signal. Cities that you built don't break when they become too complex. They break when they lose their vibe. A great city builder lets you live with imperfection. It gives you room to adapt, to reshape, to forgive early mistakes. A bad one makes you feel like every misstep is permanent, not mechanically, but emotionally. Realism should help you care about your city. The moment it makes you want to abandon it, that's the point where realism breaks city builders. Well, that's all I've got time for. So I'll just say, if you have been, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you wanted to support the channel, you can join as a member in the link below.